Hi, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Liv.
And this is the Mach-E vlog. Today we're going to do a test and something that's really fun. We are going to drive up to the highest paved road in North America, which if you don't know, it's Mount Evans, Colorado.
So let's go.
So Mount Evans is about 65 miles from where we're starting at. We're starting at Moru Coffee, which is our common starting point for road trips. And it's interesting because I've been playing around with a Better Route Planner and FordPass to see what it estimates our efficiency. 65 miles, but it's estimating in a Better Route Planner to use 42% of the battery. And in FordPass, it's estimating 22% of the battery. So huge difference. And either way, that's a lot of battery for just 65 miles. But the key is like when we come back, how much are we going to regen on the way down from this tall mountain? And just so you know, we're starting at about 5,400 feet, and Mount Evans tops off at about 14,130 feet, I believe.
Whoa.
So let's get some preliminary stats. I unplugged at home and drove over here. We're very close to our home, but still says 100% battery. Estimated range left is 283 miles. We're at 1,306.8. So let's see. We're going to go over here and we're going to go to Mount Evans. Mount Evans, 40 miles straight, 65 miles it should be, 62 miles. We actually want to go that route. So at 66 miles, we're going to say go.
Obey traffic laws, be alert and use voice commands while driving. In 300 feet, turn right on South Quebec Street.
So it's saying 66 miles. It'll take us 2 hours and 22 minutes. It'll actually be longer because Mount Evans Road is very, very slow and there's a lot of tourists there. And it says that from our 100%, we will drop down to 72%. So FordPass app said 78% and the actual car is saying 72%. So we'll see when we get to the top.
We're on our way. It's a really kind of gray, overcast day, but it's actually because Colorado is currently in a heat wave. So it's just really, really hot. So it's super weird that we're driving from this boiling hot center of Denver all the way up to what is potentially snowfall at the top of Mount Evans.
It's going to snow maybe tonight at Mount Evans.
Cool. They're doing a reservation system, so we picked a really early reservation. We actually picked an earlier one, but someone kind of had a hard time waking up. So right now we're on I-25, and it's such a bummer that I-25 and 6 is such a common use interchange because that's exactly where we had our accident, and that's exactly where we're going right now. And it's always a little bit twitchy, a little bit traumatizing. How do you feel?
No, I've already thought like I may go past it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
If it slows down at all, I might forget that.
Yeah. Patrick, we've been fortunate enough to work remotely for quite a while now, and Patrick had to go into his work last week, and he said he saw an accident like right at that same spot and just kept on driving, right?
Yeah. I went to the next exit and went back.
Yeah, I would. Still like, all right, we'll touch base once we're through this. Well, there's an accident on the other side. Oh my goodness, look at all that traffic. Ooh, that's really backed up. My goodness.
For 8 a.m. on a Saturday.
8 a.m. on a Saturday, and those poor people are going to be stuck for a while. And we are sailing through where we had our accident. Whew. Oh yeah, look at that red on the map there. My goodness. Well, we're just over 18 minutes into our trip, 17.7 miles and 2.7 miles per kilowatt hour. We're already at 6,253 feet. Oh man, look at that climbing. That is climbing
now
so
we're starting
much.
to climb.
Yeah. we're going up into Morrison currently, and as with Colorado, there are mountains all over. Look at that.
So we are just pulling out of Idaho Springs. The whitewater rafters are getting ready to get started.
We've done that.
Idaho Springs is the start of what is the Mount Evans hill climb that's been going on since, I believe, the 70s. And it goes from Idaho Springs, where we're at about 7,500 feet, all the way up to the top of Mount Evans. It's on bicycle, and it's 27.1 miles, about 6,600 feet of climbing. I think the record holder right now is Tom Danielson, and it's about an hour and 40 some minutes. I've done it once. It was brutal. Let's just say the fastest person, Tom Danielson, could go up, ride back down, and up again in the time that I did. So we're about 40 minutes in. 38.7 miles from Moru Coffee, 2.7 miles per kilowatt hour, and that should start dropping as we...
It just did.
Yeah, as we start really climbing. We're at 7,700 feet, and we got 6,600 or 6,400 more to go. In one of our earlier videos, we talked about going up Pikes Peak with the Mach-E. If you're wondering why we didn't do that, it's a little bit more of a challenge to get to from our house, and they're doing construction. They're building a visitor center at the top, so it's not actually even open all the way to the top, and there's going to be limited parking and all that good stuff. So Mount Evans is a lot more accessible.
And it's taller. It's so much taller. It's 15 feet taller, but it's still taller. It's the tallest, highest paved road in North America.
North America, yeah. So yeah, it's one of the tallest in the world, and if you look at like Europe, it's way taller than anything in Europe as well. Hawaii actually, it goes up to like 13,000 feet on the Big Island of Hawaii, and that's going all the way from sea level. So that's quite an impressive drive. But this is what we got, and it's exciting. Mount Evans is sort of like iconic in Colorado. You see it from pretty much everywhere in Denver, and actually I looked it up, and you can see it from Fort Collins down to, I think, Colorado Springs, and out east up to 100 miles away you can see Mount Evans. So it's been famous. It was sort of made famous by Albert Bierstadt, who is a famous German-American painter back in the 1800s. He actually named it, was it Rosalie?
Mount Rosalie for his future wife is what we found. But I'm like, did she actually become his wife, or
yeah, she
what
became his wife?
That?
Yeah,
okay.
I sort of put it that way. It was actually the wife of his good friend, and then they got married later. So we won't go into that.
He named a mountain after her. I mean,
yeah. That's it's sort of funny, but yeah, in 1895 they renamed it after John Evans, who's the second Colorado territory governor. But now there's an effort to take that name away because John Evans was actually like forced from office because of his role in the Sand Creek massacre. He wasn't like directly involved, but he sort of allowed that environment to happen and then helped cover it up in the investigations afterwards. And that's where anywhere from 100 up to I think 500 Native Americans were massacred. So and most of those were elderly men and women and children. So sort of a tragic bit of history, and why a lot of people don't want to see it named Mount Evans any longer, and they want to go back to the old Mount Rosalie.
Or even if it could be something commemorative in respect of that would be amazing. If you didn't know, if you have a permanent lifelong disability, you can get a free lifetime pass. It's called the America the Beautiful Pass. It gets you access for free for life into all national parks.
And not just national parks. Like this is a national forest. So like national monuments, national forests, recreation areas that are owned by the federal government. This gets you in.
National monuments?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize. That's awesome. Yeah. There are also passes if you are retired. I'm sorry, of retirement age, and
veterans. They've
yeah.
now added veterans. I'm not sure how that process works. I'll try to put some links down to that type of stuff down below in the description because it's very cool to take advantage of that stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Fantastic. Have you all been here before?
Only on bike.
Okay, well, welcome. Do you want one of these at all?
Yes, please.
Okay, and I see your pass. That
Yep.
is good to go.
Okay. Do I need to have it up all the time?
If you would, or, I mean, the other thing you could do is if you just throw that on your dashboard whenever you park, you'll be good
When we
to go.
park? Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. I'll hand that to you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Have a good day.
You too.
So I've never been up here, but I've heard the story about when Patrick biked up here because it took an entire day. And I cannot believe you did this. This road is so narrow. It looks like you could fall over the side at any minute if you get too tired and
Just
wobble on your
wait.
bike. Really?
Yeah,
It gets
just
worse?
Yeah, we're below the tree line. So there's
Oh.
trees. Wait till we get up above, I think, like 13,000 feet, and there's no
Oh,
trees, and
jeez.
it's, yeah.
We've got a nice little guidebook thingy that they gave us at the entrance. That's really nice. We have an excellent view through that glass roof right there. Gorgeous. All right, we're only a couple minutes really into this drive up Mount Evans. And what does that say? Lower Goliath? What is that?
Just landmarks. We're literally like a mile or so from the gate to Mount Evans.
And we're already at 2.1 miles per kilowatt hour.
And we're at 73% battery, which, if you remember, Ford Pass said we'd be at 78 at the top. So we're going to miss that by quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. We are over 11,000 feet now. Oh my goodness. This is slow going. What? What? No. No. There's no side. No, we can't come down here. You came down on a bike?
Yes.
No. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, this is not good. Oh no. Are you preparing me for Disney and this is like a roller coaster?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you doing co-pilot the whole way up?
No way. First of all, there's no lane markings. Second of all, there's no way, even if there were like bright lane markings, I would not trust my life to some automated system. But I do have it in unbridled because the steering gets more responsive and it feels better.
Nice. Look at all that snow. You can't even see anything. We're so high up.
Yeah, and
It's just shadow.
still very hazy. Normally, or at times, you can see a lot more.
Oh my gosh, this is horrifying. These cyclists are really far over. Don't they know we're scared?
It's fine.
Drop over the side. You just look like you're flying. Like, there's no road. Oh, jeez. Oh, no. Oh my gosh, we're already at 67%. And Ford Pass said we'd get to the top with 78?
Yeah. And there's Summit Lake.
Oh, wow. This is so gorgeous. I can't capture it. Yeah, those switchbacks are so crazy. You can see where we are and where we're gonna be, and where we're gonna be is there.
Somewhere up there.
I mean, just drop me off. I'll climb up, okay? So it's so bumpy up here. I had to switch to the GoPro, so I'm not sure if you guys could see the screen there. But we dropped down under 13,000 feet, and we are now climbing back up again as we ascend to the top. And it's really surprisingly awesome up here and insane. This road is so tiny. How you doing?
Good. It's easier in the car.
Yeah. Drop me off at the top. Actually, no, we were just talking about how terrible it must be. Well, Patrick remembering flashbacks of coming down on a bike.
Yeah, I love going downhill, but this one is so bumpy and there's no guardrail or anything. It's a rough ride on the way down, and it's steep. So with all the bumps, you actually have to ride the brakes almost the whole way. It was a rough ride, but there's pizza at the end, or there was.
In your case.
Yeah, so it was like 5 hours up, 1 hour down, and then lots of pizza.
Wow, look at those switchbacks. That's amazing. You can literally see just these slow crawls of cars going up the mountain. And it's going to be really interesting coming down because you're not going to have to touch the brake. You can just cruise on the accelerator with one pedal.
Yeah.
That could be really nice, huh?
Yeah, we'll see how much the regen, if I need to use the brake in addition to the regen, or we'll see. We're at 2.0 miles per kilowatt hour now and 60 miles in. So
Oh, 1.9.
Yeah. Not surprising.
Not at all. Oh my gosh.
We're getting closer to the top, and this road is really interesting because they started building it in 1915. It took them 15 years to finish it, and the last part at the top they literally had to build by hand. And I looked that up in Wikipedia to see if I could find out more. I want to research that more because they were saying the steam equipment didn't work at altitude, and they had horse suicides.
What?
Which I'm like, what does that mean? Yeah, I'm very curious. If you know what that means in regards to the Mount Evans Road, let me know. I'm wondering, is it they just wasn't really a suicide, they had accidents and fell. But it sounds very tragic. They built the last, what was it, 300 feet or 600 feet?
600 feet.
600 feet by hand, so like with shovels.
Crazy.
It was finished in 1930. There used to be a guest house or restaurant and visitor center at the top. That burned down in the 70s, I think, 79. I'm not sure, but it's now they just have a couple of bathrooms and that's about it. One of the things that's interesting, so if you look at the Mach-E, this one has 384 horsepower at sea level, and at this altitude, it has 384 horsepower. If you look at the Mach-1, that's the 2021 Mach-1, it has 480 horsepower at sea level, but because you lose about 3% of your horsepower for an ICE engine, for every 1,000 feet, up at this altitude, you're losing probably about 42% of your horsepower, which means it would have 280 horsepower. So not that you drive at 14,000 feet that often, but it's interesting, you know, that's one of the cool things about electric vehicles is like you don't lose any horsepower as you're climbing.
And we are about to hit 14,000 feet. Everybody ready?
This is one time when you don't criticize a runner for having to stop and walk for a minute. There we go.
Not like everyone. Beep, 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 beep. Whoa. Oh, that was nice. It was 13.99 from it. We are high up. How do you feel?
I am excited. It's you know, at this point on a bike, I was pretty miserable and just like, can I just turn around?
Oh, wow. That's basically the view I saw from the bottom that I wanted to capture. You can see it from up here. and imagine that we look like we're floating in the rocks. Oh, look at all
There's
those
the top.
little people. We're at the top! Yay! Let's see if we can find any parking at all.
Hey, we can park right there.
Handicap, yay! We made it!
All right, let's look at our numbers before too long. It says 64.4 miles. Let's see. All of it to the route, basically. 1.9 miles per kilowatt hour. I thought it actually might be like 1.5, so that's not bad. Temperature is 46 degrees. I don't know. I think it was 66 when we left Denver. At least that's what Google said. And we finished at 63% battery, which is not as bad as a better route planner, but way 15% less than what Ford Pass said. So everybody has to go over there and take their iconic picture with the 14,130 feet summit of Mount Evans. That's really cool.
We're gonna have a Blucifer picture. Oh, they just did a high five. It was really sweet. But yeah, we'll get Blucifer in the photo.
So we were going to head back down all the way to Denver. We picked up a couple of people that want a ride part of the way down to the parking lot. So we'll explain that in a second. But anyways, we're 63% battery, like we said. I'm going to go ahead and we'll reset trip 2. We're at 1.9. There we go. So reset. That'll adjust as we go down. So on the way back, it is estimating that we'll arrive at home or near home. We'll blur that out. 34% battery. So estimating that we'll use 29%. And a better route planner said that we'll only use about 6% battery or 5 or 6% battery. So we'll see.
Let's go. That is so cool.
Yeah, just looking at people.
Oh my gosh, I bet they're like
gosh.
have food now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we fit one more? That's crazy. How many cameras can you have going at one time?
It was
He's just hanging. Hi. Oh. Can we stay here? He might come up.
yeah, he might climb
He
the
might
car.
doof the car, yeah.
No more damage.
No, thank you.
I'll
I
just go
know.
back the car.
Oh my gosh, you're so cool. Oh, was he like...
Oh.
Animals tend to find electric vehicles weird.
It's
like this one's
quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
They make a hum, so it's,
Oh, okay.
that was cool.
That was
Thinking about
super
that
cool. Okay, I got what I came for.
There was
We're back at Summit Lake, and so is everyone else.
Yes. So you guys are in here?
Yes. Yeah.
What do you guys think of the Mach-E?
I want one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's pretty
Never seen
quiet,
anything like
huh? Okay, we dropped everyone off at Summit Lake parking lot, Summit Lake Park. And now we are continuing on downwards. It was a little weird being close to strangers like that, but they hiked all the way up from here, all the way up to the top, and we're really not psyched about making their way down. So we were able to give them a ride.
Yeah.
And they were all vaccinated, so good. And now we got the
Whew.
bumpy part again.
It gets better.
It gets better. Let's go. Hey, is this like the Tesla Club? It's totally a Tesla Club. And then a cool bike.
We're about a half a mile from the entrance to the Mount Evans Road, and we're at 65% with the battery, and it's 10.4 miles per kilowatt hour. It's been that for the last little bit. It's fluctuated from like 8.9 up to 10.4. And I forgot, we should be noting our range. It's 170 miles of range right now. Let's see how that does for the rest of the trip.
And now we're coming back into the tree lines. It was really cool suddenly dipping down in their trees again, and we were above that for a while, just rocks and mountain goats and marmots. Marmots.
Yeah.
Marmots. That's it. The summit was really cool. The top, at least, it was cool to see the old building there, and I think that they sort of restored it nicely in a way that depicts history. Like you can see the burns and everything, which were part of the original material, and there's some nice handrails, nice stairs, and I believe there was a wheelchair ramp to get into the sort of burnt out building. I mean, that was crazy windy though, so if you got balance issues, you definitely got to prepare for that. But it was really cool to get up there, get a photo with the sign, and now it's really cool to come back down and get back amongst trees and feel your ears pop. Are yours popping yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. And we are almost through the gates at the bottom.
Here's one cool thing going downhill. 0% battery is for the route.
That's crazy.
So we're approaching the gate. We're going to finish the Mount Evans Road part at 10.4 miles per kilowatt hour. And it looks like at 67% battery. So
Amazing.
gained 4% on the way down. That's pretty cool. And it fluctuated, like I said, 10.4 down to 8.9. Ugh, speed bumps. But 10.4 is our final tally for this section. And then now we're going to go back to Idaho Springs, which is still, let's see, what altitude are we at?
10,700.
We're at 10,700. So Idaho Springs is about 7,500 feet.
That's a cool sign there. Oh my god. What's that?
I don't know.
Uh-oh. One pedal drive bolt. Press brake pedal to reduce speed. It made a weird sound, almost like rocks in it, but
Yeah, I'm gonna.
there was nothing in the road.
I'm gonna go see. It sounded like something rattled back there.
Yeah, it did.
Hi, this is Future Us in San Diego. We didn't film as much as we probably should have because we were dealing with the error on the car. But as you can see, I jumped out. I went and looked under the car. I didn't see any issues there. Got back in the car and we basically turned it off and on again and a couple of times, because the first couple of times the errors did not clear, and we were sort of trying to figure out, like, are we going to have to ask somebody to help us? But then got back in the car, and you'll see next, and continued on. Our thought was, if we get to Idaho Springs, we'll be in better shape because we'll be in a town. So that's what's coming up now.
Okay.
So we don't know what happened, but there was like a sort of clackety clicking sound, almost like there were rocks up in a wheel well is what it sounded like. But the road is perfectly clear and beautiful here. And then all of a sudden we got that one pedal driving error. Patrick pulled over immediately, and then the vehicle would not allow him to move out of park after that.
Yeah.
We had no signal of any kind, so it was a little panicky for a minute inside. Like we were thinking maybe flag down someone, get a ride somewhere, just so we could get a tow, because what were we gonna do? And then Patrick sort of just waited a couple more minutes. This was after trying to turn it off and on again multiple times, and then did it, and then it actually worked. So don't know why or what, but that's super disconcerting.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, and we don't want to hide the stuff. We want to be honest about this whole experience, and it's also like there were a whole bunch of Teslas that went up as we were coming down, and we want this car to be successful, and we want it to be good, and we want it to be safe and easy for everyone. So gonna try to get to the bottom of this and see what that was, because that's not the nicest experience, and that could be really bad.
And I think we lost our trip.
Oh,
But I can calculate it.
okay. And we got the going up. So Mount Evans trip got completely wiped, it seems.
All the trip.
Oh man,
Yeah.
gotta do it all over again.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
We're almost back to Idaho Springs. Everything seems good now. We lost our stats over here when I reset the car, basically. But our battery percentage is at 70%, and our range is now up to 176 miles. So once we get on to Idaho Springs, we get back onto I-70 and head back into Denver. Still have to go from about 7,500 feet down to 5,500 feet. So we will still lose some elevation, but there's some hills in there, so it'll go up and down.
Yeah. Our elevation's still up there at least.
So we finished at 70% hitting Idaho Springs, and we're not going to get on I-70. We need a bathroom break again, so we're going to go through town, and you can take a look at it as we go through. Neat little town.
Teensy weensy. Oh my god. Oh no. Ugh.
I know it says no parking, but I can... Hi, Future Us again. So basically when we got into town, as you just saw, like we got a bunch more errors. In retrospect, I think what it was is that those errors were there, and then when we got back, to town and to a stop, those errors then displayed themselves. So we needed to address that, and it sort of freaked me out because it was like now it happened twice, and yeah, it was the best spot because we were back in town, but it was also not a great spot because it was in front of a Tesla supercharger, of all things.
Yeah, and to top it off, we got one of the typical Colorado rainstorms, so we were just getting dumped with water. But Patrick managed to turn the car off and on again a couple times, and it turned back on like normal. So we decided to drive around the town, see how everything was, and then make our way back home, because getting a tow meant that we would have to get a Lyft or an Uber home, which was about, what, $180?
It was going to be a $180 Lyft to the the dealer where they were taking it, and the dealer where they were taking it was getting ready to close. So then it was like, why are we getting it towed there? And we weren't sure if we should get it towed. So I looked on the forums, messaged a couple of people that I know, and they were like, give it a try, which was easy for them to say, and then see how it goes. So that's what we did. And you'll see what happens in the next part.
It was a little nerve-wracking, but
Yeah.
I mean, it went okay. We were just scared of anything happening again.
Spoiler alert, it went okay. It was nerve-wracking because, we had just had 2 different errors that cleared, but I was worried that it was going to happen a third time. And the stretch between Idaho Springs and Denver, there's one stretch that goes through a tunnel, and there's basically no alternative route. So I couldn't take like a side road or anything like that. I had to get on I-70. And it was actually sort of good that it was raining because everybody was going slow. So we went slow, stayed in the right lane. I was worried that it could be any number of things going on. It could be just a software glitch. It could be something from the accident still. So was worried about some type of loose connection while it was being repaired. It was not on a charger for 7 weeks. So I was worried like maybe just the battery is a little bit dead. And somehow that manifested, as we were coming down. Wasn't really sure. So we just were like, we're going to take it slow, and you'll see what happens.
So now Patrick is trying with one pedal turned off. He's going to test out driving a little, see how it goes. If you can't tell, it's kind of torrential downpour.
Where it was just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And then at that point, I can take, I don't know where the lane is.
There it is, yeah.
At that point, I can take like the side roads.
Yeah. It's relatively torrential downpour. It's kind of slowed now, but there's a lot of water on the road. What Patrick is trying to do is to get the car moved at least through the tunnel. So it's like an $80 Uber to get out of here, and there's no shop that can see us for about 2 weeks. So we kind of don't have much option at this moment. He got the car started and he's going really carefully in the right lane on the highway until he gets to a point that he can get off. And that's why I'm talking, because Patrick is concentrating. We're just a couple minutes in. So basically the thought was, why wait for a tow when there's nowhere we can really get towed to and he could turn the car on? So finally we're out of some heavier rain areas. Traffic is going really slow, which is good for us right now. Holding my breath a lot this drive. First it was going up the mountain, and now it's just driving 39 miles an hour on the highway. Everyone else is going slowly, it's not just us. We're almost home. I'm just gonna keep saying almost because we have to get home. But we're really almost there. We've had no air. You see I'm a little glistening, but we've just been trying to put the least amount of strain on the car as possible, and we're almost there. It will feel really amazing to pull this thing to the garage and get it plugged in and start diagnosing and all that stuff. So we had one pedal turned off for the whole drive back, and because that was potentially maybe something we're curious about being an issue, but it's so hard to park with that one pedal. So
I like one pedal for parking.
And I like the camera to stay on.
Yeah. Hi.
We're home-ish. We got to go get our dog. Our friend picked up our dog because we didn't know how long we were going to be stuck with the car, but we made it home.
Yeah, so we're gonna go rescue him, and we are now in Old Faithful, the Hive Buggy, aka my car, and on our way to get the dog. Going up to Mount Evans was a great success. Coming down seemed like it was gonna go well, barring those issues. We're not entirely sure what they are. Patrick is trying to deal with this and work it out. So we're gonna finish this video here, but just to let you know, we're not sure if this is specific to our vehicle because it was in the crash and because it was in a stasis for 7 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, a couple of people that I know that are active on Mach-E forums are sort of helping me diagnose, and we need some information from the repair shop. But like, was it on a charger at any time during that 7 weeks? I don't think it was. Did they reset the codes because it's throwing a bunch of codes now? So I need to get some information from them, see what they disconnected, because that's another thought, is like it could just be a loose connection from something that they didn't reconnect properly. Or it could be that the 12-volt battery, because it wasn't being charged for 7 weeks, that could be causing issues. So could be just something related to the crash. We don't know yet.
Which would be a relief and would mean that hopefully it'd probably be a relief, right?
It would be. I mean, it's like the main thing is we're supposed to leave in 7 days for our San Diego trip, and if we don't know, I don't know if we can actually go, and we have to cancel things before 7 days, or we get penalized. So we got to make some decisions quickly.
So, as you can see, we are here in San Diego. We made it. The car is okay, but wow, was it a wild ride to get here. Not just the ride to get here itself, which is coming soon. We'll have a couple of vlogs about that, but the entire week before this.
So yeah, I took it in Monday morning to the Ford dealer. They were ready for me because I had called them and basically said, here's what's going on, and if you can do anything to help me out, I'm leaving on a road trip in a few days. So they contacted Ford, or Ford contacted them, and coordinated everything. They ran a bunch of tests. They checked to make sure connections were secure and everything like that. And they never really clearly identified the problem. They think it could be a software glitch, but they updated pretty much every single module in our Mach-E throughout the week. So they did a bunch of updates, ran a bunch of diagnostics, ran a bunch of tests, everything checked out okay, which made us still a little bit nervous heading out for the trip. But here we are, we're 1,000 miles away. So things have been going good, and sort of messed up our Mount Evans tests up and down. Cool thing is like it took us down from 100% down to 63% to get to the top of Mount Evans, but to get from Mount Evans back to our house took 0%, because like we recharged or regened and got a charge up to 71%, and then it started drifting back down, and when we got back to the house it was exactly at 63%, which is what it was 65 miles earlier at the top of Mount Evans. So could have been a dramatic nerve-wracking thing, and at times it was, but I think we handled it really well. And it's sort of, you have things like this, like you get warning messages in whatever car. This one sort of worried me because it's such a connected car, and it was like pull over safely and disabled one pedal mode and that type of thing. So I was a bit worried. And like, if I were just going back and forth to work, I don't think I would have been like, yeah, I got to get this in sometime this week. But the fact that we had 1,000-mile road trip each way coming up made me really nervous.
Speaking of which, we do have to return tomorrow. We're actually parked at a charger right now. We're in Carlsbad in San Diego. We're getting a little bit of juice before we leave in the morning, at the crack of dawn probably, because it's going to be 120 degrees along the way. That was part of what was so nerve-wracking just coming here, was the extreme temperatures, the thought that what if the car broke down along the way, what if something happened. There's some really unforgiving landscapes on the way over here. So as you might see if you watch that vlog when it comes out, we made it here and it was great. We had a wonderful time, and knock on wood, the return journey will be great because we're going to do this one a little faster.
A little faster because we had some detours on the way. But yeah, and you know, anytime you go across the desert and it's 120 degrees, doesn't matter if you're in whatever car, truck, motorcycle, you really do have to be prepared for any and everything. So like we're going to make sure that we are prepared.
Extra water.
Anyways, yeah. So always do that. And the fact that it was like our first long stretch with an electric vehicle across some pretty remote terrain made us nervous. But anyways, this video is pretty long for just a Mount Evans trip. Stay tuned. We will have a redo of the Mount Evans trip, and we will also have some San Diego stuff to and from, some Las Vegas bits in there, and other lots of good stuff. I think I'm going to do film a like Copilot 360 tutorial on the way back too. So very cool. All right. I would say stay charged, but we're charging, so we're like charge ahead or charge.
Keep it charged.
Keep charging.
Electric power.
Electric power.